Hi, welcome back to this part tutorial. And this is part of our ongoing series on CSS and how to select an element on the page. And so if you're just joining us and you're yet to subscribe, you want to learn how to program, go ahead and click on the subscribe button so that whenever I post a video, also turn on notifications so that whenever I post a video, you'll be alerted. Okay, just a quick one, and today we'll be doing the attribute selector. And to do this, I have created an HTML. This is a simple HTML. This is a title. This is a header one. This is a paragraph. This is another paragraph. And this is a form. And so, when we're doing CSS, I explained what we call the HTML attributes. And I told you guys that attributes are used to extend or further describe. For example, you might want to say, these are the attributes of a gentleman. You know, they are calm, they are cool, they are collected, whatever it is. You know, and so, yeah, looking at HTML, there are a lot of attributes, and one of those we mention the class, we mention the ID. In terms of form, we mention the form attributes. You know, you look at them, they will mention the type attributes of a form. And so attributes is anything. Width is an attribute, height is an attribute. And so just to quickly refresh that. And now to select an attribute, you use the attributes selector like this. So now look at this, we're going to select the title. And what do we want to say? We'll say everything that has title on the page. Let's color it blue. Let's color it blue. And so if you look at our code back, now you look at the output. Now let's go back to our code. You see everything that has title has been colored to blue. Okay. Now sometimes we want to select the attributes of a particular element. For example, let me look at this example. We want to select the element of the attribute of a particular element. I pasted most of this code here so that I don't have to. Let me see if I see what I'm looking for. Okay, that's by the way, since I don't have it. So what I'm going to do. Okay, so sometimes we want to select the element of the attribute of a particular element. For example, this is an input. I want to say type. Okay. Now let's go ahead and select that. So the form is an element, the input is an element, and we want to select the type attribute. And as usual, we'll go like this and say type. But not just any type, the type of an input. Okay. Earlier I wanted to use an example. I thought I copied that, but since I didn't, let me just go ahead with this and see what it gives us at the end of the day. Okay, so let's say border color. Let's say border 1 pixel, solid red. I like using the color red. Okay, so this is what we have. And so you can go ahead and issue a background color. You can say background color. Let's say gray. You know, something like that. Something to just make the whole difference. So we can have this. We can also say, we can say input. Let me copy this. I can say input. We can also say input type. Input type, we can say equal to submit. Submit. So we are saying that not just any type. So not just any type, but the type that has submit. We are saying give it a border. Let's say 1 pixel, solid. Let's say green. Okay. Input type, submit. Right? Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna. Okay, let me add a background color for it, so we can probably, let's see what. Okay, so it worked. I was wondering, I wasn't seeing the output. So you can also use this to select a type using the specific type of an element that you want to color. I know some of you have been creating forms and you've been trying to see how you can style basic things. Okay, so and this will help you. Now there are times you want to select. Let's say. Let me create a new element. I'll call this. Now let me see if I already have it somewhere here. Okay, let me take these ones. Let me take them. These three, I'm sure it will be helpful. So I'll go ahead and paste them on top here. So you can just go ahead and type them. I want to save time as much as possible. So you can select operators to make attribute selectors match any element, match a particular element. For example, what we want to do, we want to say, this guy here should match all the elements that have this warning. You notice that this one contains 2 classes. By the way, you can add more than 1 class to an element. Remember, you just do class and you add it here. You can add more than 1 class by spacing them. You can even add another one and add another class. Let's say you wrote a class to do border, you wrote another class to control the way people click. You can add all of them to this and stuff. And so let's see how the styling works. Let's see. Okay, so I just copied this. I've written it before. Now what I'm trying to do, I'm saying that go and look for the class that has this element. So now you look at this, it has it, but this is separated with space. Now let's go ahead and preview. Just a moment. Why is it not showing? Okay, here we are. So I made the background red and it showed. So let me change this too, so that we can have okay, so the color is green. So what I did is to using this sign. I don't know what you call it in mathematics. We call it approximate. We use it for writing approximate. And so now if you look at this third one was not highlighted, and it's simply because now if you do something like this, let's see what. So you see it will omit that one. Okay, it will omit it now. But look at this. Look at this. If you use this sign instead of this one, so let's see. So you see it will highlight that back. So this one is used to say, the first one is used to say, this one is used to say, select everyone that has a, let's say, select all that have warning. Like this one now has iPhone. It will not pick it because it's treating this as one word. But this one has space, so it will treat this one as a word and treat this one as a word. So once it locates the word, it will highlight it. Also, and I showed you this other one. So this one will pick anything that has, even the ones that have iPhone, to pick it. Okay, and that's what we have here. But the one that have space, you notice it omitted it out. All right. Now there is another thing I want to show us. To do that, I'm just going to go ahead and clear this and copy so that we can have a clean environment again. So you would have seen how to select a title, an attribute, how to select an attribute, how to select the attribute of a particular element. You know, we also did that using form and the submit, and we can now see how to select I showed you how to select any word of an attribute, the value of an attribute. You know, the warning was the value of an attribute, submit is the value of an attribute type. Okay, warning is the value of an attribute class. Okay, so the values warning, the values that has with space and with iPhone. So we've seen how to select that. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and take them off just to recap so that we're progressing properly. Okay, so let me show us something. I wrote this code. I want to quickly pick a link that I created earlier. Where is that? Where is that? Okay, I think this is it. I linked it to an external link to Google. So if you look, this is a link. All right, you already know how to add a link, so I'm not supposed to be teaching you that. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to select an element that begins with this. So let's just paste that here. So I'm saying that. So now this is what I want to show you. This sign. So we're saying that any element that begins with this. So remember the first one sets we did, the first selectors that has to do with the value. We said pick anyone that has warning and has even if it has space. The second one we said pick any value that has warning even if it has an iPhone. Now we are saying pick anyone that has this, that begins with this. Okay, that begins with this. So let me quickly show you my folder. Oh, I had that open. Okay, so inside my folder I have this image called external.png. So I'm saying that anyone that has this begin, and you see we have this from the beginning. So it's a complete word, whether it has its whether the word is together, as long as or as long as it's part of it, just select it. So let's go ahead and see. So you see it added the image that we inserted there to it. And so I want to show you another. So we add this one does for the beginning. I want to show you the one that ends with it. And so to do to say something that ends with it, so I'm going to say $sign. Let me quickly search that. Okay, I'm going to say anyone that ends with .com. Okay, let's see. So it still does that, but let me give another example. Let me just leave this one and give another example. So let's say we linked a PDF file. I can say company profile .pdf. So I'll say company profile. No longer following the list of items I brought out to show you these examples, but that's okay. The most important thing is to make sure that I pass the message in the way that's important, that's better. And so what we want to do, we want to say append something to anyone that have this PNG. Okay, so let's go ahead and recopy this. I'm saying that anyone that ends with .pdf. And so this is the image we want to add. So the other previous one we just did not too long, we treated the ones that, this one we're saying anyone that begins this was not the sign we had, so let me just, this is the sign for this one. So we're saying anyone that begins with this sign, add this image, put this background image, add this this style. So now we're saying that anyone that ends with this. Okay, now let's see what it's going to give us. Okay, so you see this, he appended this to so it will locate the ones that ended with .pdf. And so you've seen how we can pick a particular word even if it has space. We've seen how we can pick an attribute, a type of an attribute, and style it. We've seen how we can say, okay, the attribute that has this value. We've seen how we can pick a specific element and look for that. Inside that element, we'll look for, if you have more than one of those elements, we'll say, okay, the one that have this particular value, even if it has space or even if it has an icon. So we've also seen how we can do the ones that began with a particular word, whose value began with a particular word. Like this one, we say href, whose value began with this. Now this one was saying href, which value ends with this. Okay, we are making progress. Now there is a time we might want to say, what if it has the value in any part of the, not at the beginning, not at the point, not just at the beginning. It can be at the beginning, it can be in the middle. And so let me just go ahead and create another style. I'm going to say href. Let me say www.companyprofile.com. So let's say this one has Okay, let me copy this again. So we want to say locate any of them that have the company profile. You know, just anywhere. Just anywhere. Whether it's at the beginning, whether it's in the middle. So if you look at this one as at the beginning. So let's say this one. Okay, so let me just go ahead and add the asterisk. So you use asterisk sign to say anyone. I'm trying to locate that here. So that's anywhere you find anyone that has company profile at all. Let's see. So what will be the style? Let's just add a color, a background color. Let's see. Red. Okay, let's see what we have. So you see, it picked this one. This one has company profile, regardless of why. Let's see, why didn't it pick this one? Why didn't it pick this one? Let me look at the output again. Okay, let me try and remove this and see whether it's going to pick it or whether because it has a particular style. Okay, so you can go ahead and play around with that and see what it gives you. Figure out why. So try other elements and see how you position them and see how you use these asterisks to find anyone in the middle. So, and that's it about attribute selectors. One of the things I want to show you is opacity. Then we'll move over to CS3, some of CS3 functionalities that you might need to know in your journey of CSS. Catch you.